What is up, ladies and gentlemen? If I told you that I never saw myself as a recruiter, well, October 15th of 2024, it has been 7 years now that I've been in this field called HR, talent acquisition, being a recruiter. And I want to share with you because really, this is my 24th year at Nike, as you know in some of my prior videos. But more importantly, they say that 7 is a lucky number. And by the looks of this, granted it's 17, but there's a 7. LA all day. Good luck to our Dodgers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Noan El Boricua, and I am your host here at Fuel Pasíon podcast, where it's all about immersing ourselves dentro de la cultura. It's always growing in our faith and always making those conexiones. Now, I'm excited because at the opening of this video, I shared that I now, on October 15th of this year, have now been 7 years as a recruiter, and I've had a chance to be able to share in some prior videos of what that process has looked like. But I kind of want to just bring it back to that moment, that day. Now, I'm gonna read the post that I had on my Instagram on the date that it was my last day when I worked in store. But I'm also gonna post a photo right here because like I personally like the photo that I took. So I wanted to share this, and it says the following: that when you discover your mission, you will feel its demand, and it will fill you with enthusiasm and a burning desire to get to work on it. And that was none other than C. Stone who said that. And that was something for me that when I stepped away from retail to have the opportunity to serve retail in a different context, which was really to now seek and find this talent, it was something for me that was really exciting. Look, I am a connector. Granted, the pillars conexiones. I'm someone that wants to be able to find the best talent that we have, regardless if it's a project that I'm working on outside of work or within this context of work. And I just wanted to share some things and maybe hopefully inspire some of you to understand that there's highs and lows when you're in the profession that you're in, and it's okay. That's the point. That's the beauty of the work. So I wanted to share just a couple things, and I hope you can take this and hopefully apply it. If not, challenge me. I think that's the beauty of growing and sharpening each other, is to be able to challenge and accept and really go forward on it. So let's get into that. All right. So one of the first things that I want to talk about is the importance of continuous learning. What do I mean by that? I think that in this role that I've been in, it's allowed me, one, to hone in on certain skills, and a couple of those, and some of my leaders will know I've talked based on my development plans that I've done, is really understanding the importance of time management. In the world of recruitment, some of the skills that I had to learn is all the different processes that, if you're in HR, you know what I'm talking about. There are so many layers and processes and compliances that we need to abide by. And I think that as a recruiter, the beauty of being in this role, in this position for the past 7 years, that even though I started out as like an entry level recruiter where it was going to events, it was sparking brand affinity, it was really making connections at local job fairs or maybe local, events of like mock interviews for high schools and junior colleges and universities. All of that, the only way that I was able to recruit to spark brand affinity, I needed to understand time management, because the other skill that I've learned is not just time management and understanding the compliances and layers of HR, but I've also learned the importance of always making sure you have a process. Look, I don't know how you go about your work. If you're a student, I hope that you have a game plan how you go about your work. If you're in the professional world already, I hope you have a plan about how you go about your things. And one of the other things that I wanted to share in that is understanding that you have to constantly learn. Because I think for me, we know their processes change. When you're in HR, depending on what state you serve, there are laws that change. And you have to be adaptable to be able to learn and understand that it's an ongoing process. That's some of the beauty of being a recruiter, is knowing that, yes, there are nuances. Look, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there are challenges out there, but the beauty and the challenge is that you're understanding all these different layers and how to better serve any potential candidate that's wanting to work for the company. So that's something that I think for me was really good, is the importance of continuous learning. And also, depending on your company, the opportunity to be certified in certain things. I mean, for me to be able to be certified as, within DEI and be certified within leadership, all of that plays a role in what I do as a recruiter. So remember, it's important to have continuous learning, especially if you've been in this game for a while. And for me, it's been 7 years along with some of my peers. The second thing is, if you know me, I love creativity. I mean, hence the podcast and the YouTube. And I think is, how do you harness creativity in recruitment? And I think for me in the past 7 years, it's allowed me to do that. And a big shout out to my company. The opportunity that prior to doing what I do today is full cycle recruitment, it's really in the path of creating events, creating moments in the community to be able to showcase the different jobs, and also to be able to have storytelling moments of people that work at the brand that started out at a certain level and now they're at another level, at another role, at another position. I think for me, in the 7 years that I've been in this role, and I hope this can inspire you, is that even though you work in HR, you can be creative. I think someone used to tell me like, "Oh, HR is boring. HR is like," and I mean, I see it at times because there is just systems you always have to do, right? The offer letter, this, the on-screen calls, the phone screens, all of that. Yes, it can be boring. Yes, it can be repetitive, but man, you can get creative. How so? I'm gonna give you an example. We had the chance to be able to hire and look for some talent within our Nike Econ storytellers, right? And our pre's. And the beauty, now, if you don't know what Econ is Nike spelled backwards. It's people that know the brand inside out from back to front, and to be able to share that to all the different accounts and stores that we have across North America as well as globally. And one of the things that I did is, because look, my peers, we knew we were going to get bombarded with so many applications and so many requests. So we utilized the power of social media. I went on LinkedIn and I basically just grabbed the video and just said, "Hey, if you're this, if you can relate, if you're a runner, hey, we want you to take an opportunity and give us a chance and apply." That creative moment led to over 1,500 views on that video on LinkedIn. It was wild. The click through impression rate was over 4,000% on my LinkedIn. Like, what? So, needless to say, you can harness the beauty of creativity in recruitment. And I want to know from many of the recruiters out there, like, what are some creative ways that you go about recruitment? Because remember, in recruitment, it's not just corporate or retail roles, but it's also internships. It's also MBA programs. It's also other like creative type of groups that, design crews and things of that nature. There's so many different ways. I would love to know, like, what are some ways that you've had a chance to be able to be really creative in the recruitment process? And last but not least is the opportunity to build strong relationships. I think that as a recruiter, and please let me know if you can relate, as a recruiter, you meet some amazing talent. You meet some amazing people. You get to hear some of the most amazing journeys and stories that, if and when you get the opportunity to meet this person live and direct after they've been hired, the connection is there. Can I share with you that recently, in this past week, at the time of this recording, there's a huge running event, cross country event that's happening here in Southern California. And I had a chance to meet one of the recruits that I had a chance to source, to be able to screen, and eventually, in partnership with the hiring manager, finally get to see this potential person get hired. And this person said, "I hope one day I get to meet you in LA and to be able to shake your hand and to be able to say thank you for this process." Ladies and gentlemen, I had that chance to do that. And I want to give a shout out to Alberto, who is one of our Econs representing in the state of Utah. The opportunity for him to be able to do what he loves and to be able to be a great storyteller. And when we got to meet, it was just a moment like, yo, we've been on the phone the whole time. But when you finally get to meet eye to eye, and you guys know what I mean, there's something really special in that. Look, over these 7 years, I've had that opportunity to learn, to grow, because there's been some highs and lows, but I've also had the opportunity to be able to be creative in when it comes to recruitment and seeking out talent. And lastly, as I just shared, you get a chance to make some really powerful, strong relationships and connections. My hope is that you could take a little bit of this video and maybe reflect how many years have you been at the company, how many years you've been in this role, and is it time to start leveling up what your next role could be? That's one of the biggest questions that get asked a lot. What's your next? What do you want to do next? I don't know. Time will tell. But what I do know is that I love to learn. I love to be able to find the best talent in the world. I love to be able to be creative in moments. And lastly, I just love to connect. There's beauty in the connection of humanity. And I know from a faith lens that God has given us all unique gifts and talents and purpose. And I've had an opportunity to meet hundreds, if not thousands of people in the past 7 years to be able to share a little bit about that. So, hey, who knows? To another 7 years? I don't know. In what capacity? Who knows? But what I do know is I appreciate my leaders. I appreciate all those leaders that I've had, past, current, and potential future leaders. I am grateful for all of my peers, the OG crew, and to this current crew. I'm grateful for all the different special projects that I've been on. Super grateful. So grateful. And I hope you as well can be inspired that, hey, maybe you never thought of HR? Hit me up. I would love to have that conversation with you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I hope you can check me out on all of our past episodes, let it be audio or visual, on fuelpasionpodcast.com. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you can like and subscribe, maybe share it with somebody. And lastly, go LA at the time of this recording. It is going to be game one. It is the East versus the West. It is Hollywood versus Broadway. It is West is the best versus the East that is beast. I don't know if I said that correctly, but it's the Yankees and the Dodgers. So Shohei, as my friend like to say, Otani-san, hey, that's what it's all about. The competitiveness when you have the top dogs at their best to be able to fight for the World Series title. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you so much. Remember, immerse yourself dentro de la cultura, grow in your faith, and always make those conexiones. Y como dice mi abuelita, que Dios te bendiga.